Hello everyone, welcome back. The last time you saw this, it was in pieces. There was parts of the engine everywhere. This is the G-Tech track car, and this is the next part of the update. The engine, as you can see, is now back in. All the modifications that took place were done so while the engine was on the stand. So there's nothing else left now to modify with regards to the engine. We've got a remap to do, just so the vehicle knows that we've carried out these modifications. And then with regards to the rest of the engine bay, we've taken out everything that it doesn't need. So any beautification covers, anything that's completely unnecessary. It just adds weight to the vehicle. It makes it look nice, but when it's going around a track, we couldn't care less how nice it looks. Now, although we have taken a lot of stuff out, unfortunately that leaves us with a couple of dilemmas. In particular, how we get air into the actual cabin of the vehicle. So we've done away with the pollen filters and all of the housings, but we need to get fresh, cold air up into the interior of the vehicle. And the same with the fresh air to the air intake. So we've done away with the beautification covers. We've got a little piece of air duct still left in place, but we need to join that back up then to the airbox. Plenty of cold air, help it to run more efficiently. Big intake on the front, so we've enlarged the grille. We've changed the actual grille layout, so it lets more cold air in. And fog lights, we don't need fog lights. It's a race track, you don't need fog lights. So fog lights have gone, we've netted those as well. Plenty of fresh air, plenty of cooling air for the brakes, plenty of cold air for the intake. So as we've just spoken about air intake for the cabin of the car, that's what's left of the pollen filter and the pollen filter housing. So that's gone. We need fresh air. So if you stay tuned to the next video, we're going to show you exactly what we're going to do to rectify that. So the brand we've gone for are Nankang. They're probably one of the lesser known brands when it comes to tyres, but as far as the use on the track is concerned, these are absolutely ideal. I wouldn't recommend these on your road car. You're not going to get a great many miles out of them. There's no real benefit to fitting these over a standard road tyre, especially in the wet. Definitely wouldn't recommend it in the wet. And you're going to be looking at around about £800 for a set of tyres every time. As I say, they're not going to last you. You'll be lucky if you get a few thousand miles out of it, depending on your driving style, of course. So more power, ideally we need more braking. So what we've done, we've taken the brakes from an M140, we've got the 4-pot calipers, we've got the larger brake discs which are drilled and grooved. This helps with displacing the heat. On top of that, we soon learned that we couldn't actually fit the existing wheel with the larger brakes, so we had to go for a smaller wheel with a deeper dish. Now the smaller wheel does have a slight advantage, less rotational size, which means better acceleration. Right, here we are. We're about to delve on the underneath of the vehicle. It's the part of the car that most people never really see. So if you want to follow me through, and I'll just point out as we go a couple of things that we've done so far. Now, as you pass under, we've got the bigger intercooler. So this is around about 65% bigger than the standard intercooler. The whole idea behind that is to make sure we get more cold air running in through the engine. The colder the air, the denser the air, the more molecules, the more fuel, bigger bang, faster that we go. Then as we move through, we've got the underside of the brakes and the suspension. We've replaced the standard rubber hoses with braided hoses. This helps prevent them from collapsing under heavy braking, make them a bit more durable, a bit more performance related. As we move a little bit further back, we've got the straight through downpipe. Now this is currently connected to the standard exhaust. Now, at the moment, still sort of trial and error. We want to see how the thing sounds before we start dismantling the entire exhaust system and replacing it with something a bit more sporty. But obviously, if we do, that'll be something else to watch out for. As we move a little bit further back, we've left the under trays off. This is going to help keep things cool, but we don't want anything getting damaged, so any weak points such as the exhaust or the fuel filter, we'll be making brackets and covers for those to make sure they don't get damaged. And further back still, we've got the rear axle and the diff. Most of this has been left as standard, but you can probably just about make out we've got the lowering springs, we've got the adjustable suspension, and again we've got the braided brake hoses, which hopefully should prevent any collapse under heavy braking. As we get to the rear of the car, we've done absolutely nothing. We only care about what's going on at the front. We couldn't care less what's going on at the back. So it's the interior that you're probably going to notice the biggest change. So there is no interior. The interior's gone. There's no seats, front, rear. We've got one seat for the driver. The center console's gone. There's no controls. There is no stereo. There's no sound system. There's no covers. There's no niceties. It's all gone. Basically, if we're not going to be using it, it goes. If it has no function, it's just fat. And we don't want the fat, we want this thing to be as light as possible. So everything has gone, as you can see, even to the point where if it isn't wired up anymore, the wire's coming out. The wiring loom at the moment, it's all over the place. We're taking out what's not needed. If we've taken the stereo out, the wiring's coming out. We've taken the airbags out, so the wiring's coming out. There's no headlining, there's no grab handles, so you don't need a grab handle. The only thing you need to grab is the steering wheel when you're going around the corner. So it's gone, everything's gone. There isn't even a parcel shelf for anything to sit on. Brilliant. So yes, it looks bare, yes, it looks ugly. There's bits and stuff just hanging from everywhere. The main idea behind it is, as I say, if it doesn't have a function, it's just unnecessary. If it's unnecessary, it's heavy. If it's heavy, it needs to go. So far, we have managed to knock around about 300 kilograms off the overall weight of the vehicle. So if you look at it from, just to put it into perspective, that's probably 4 sort of average sized people. So it'd be normal sort of the passengers that you'd be carrying in the back of the car. So all that's gone. We've got a brace bar across the back. We kind of hope we don't get hit, but if you do get hit, you don't want the thing crumbling in on itself. So there's a brace bar on the back. Once everything's completed in the engine bay, there'll be a brace bar going across the front as well, just to help keep the integrity of the vehicle under impact at high speed on the racetrack. Okay, so that was a quick look over how far we've got so far. There's still a few bits and pieces to do. We've still got the seat to bolt in, we've got the wiring loom to finish, we've got our air takes to take care of. So if you stay tuned for the next video, and we'll run through that with you. If you hit the like and subscribe buttons, and stay tuned for the next installment.